Welcome to our webinar. I appreciate again for you being here. And I want to present to you what we have been working for the last few years. We've been hard at work trying to build the Lifograph, the wiki of people. And what is the wiki of people? Today we're going to dive into what we're building, what our future plans are, and how you might be able to get involved. So what do we want to do at Lifograph? This is what our mission is. We want to help you find exactly the people you need in just a click of a button. And I don't know if you've ever looked for customers or investors or new clients or partners, co-founders. But finding the right people is one of the hardest things that I found to be in business. And wouldn't it be so cool if you had a magic button that would show you the right people that you should definitely contact to invest in your company, right? Wouldn't it be that cool? And they would come back and it's like, wow, this is a great match. So that's what we're trying to do and trying to use technology for that. So information about people is scattered around millions of search results, so many websites with information about what people have done, what people's skills are, who would be a best match for what you're looking for. I mean, just on Google and LinkedIn, there are like 16 billion searches every year. So that's about 1.5 billion hours every year that people spend looking for others. Let's say that I'm looking for Ryan Arriaga, right? He's a founder, and I'm trying to have his company be promoted on Lifograph, or I want to sell some products to him, right? I mean, look, you probably never heard of him, yet he has 1.3 million results on Google, right? So it's like, wow, that will take a long time to kind of figure out how I can get a warm introduction to him, or what he has done in the past, who might be a good connection to work together to kind of reach that goal. I go to LinkedIn and I see we have 14 mutual connections, right? I don't know about you, but I don't know probably 80% of the people I'm connected on LinkedIn. So who are these people, and who would be the best person to make me an introduction to Ryan? I don't know, and I'll have to go one by one and try to figure out, right? So this is a problem that a lot of people face, and we're trying to shortcut that problem, right? So if you look here, it's like from Déa Wilson, I want to reach to Ryan Arriaga, and if I do my research, I'm going to figure out that, okay, I'm the founder of Lifograph. There's my investor who's invested in Lifograph, Mark Haney. He's a podcast producer, radio show personality. And then, so he's an investor. I mean, he's the founder of Haney Biz, who invested in Tax.io, and Ryan Arriaga is the founder of Tax.io, right? So all of this, I'll have to figure it out on my own. Well, what if you had the shortest path, right? What if you go to Lifograph and all this middle is cut down, and you know that your best introduction to Ryan Arriaga is Mark Haney. And Mark Haney is not even a connection with Ryan Arriaga on LinkedIn. So you not have found that connection on LinkedIn anyways. So basically, you go to Lifograph, right? You search for Ryan Arriaga, and then you see his profile, and you see he has 14 Lifo links, which means real life connections, including one mutual with me, right? So I wonder which one is the real life connection that we both have. And when you look, what are the mutual posts, right? What's the mutual connection? You see that they co-invested in the same company. So all of a sudden, I have one of the warmest introductions from Mark Haney, who's an investor in Lifograph, but it seems is an investor on Tax.io as well. And that was the shortcut that we have provided to our users, right? So you go from Didn't know who's the best person to make an intro, to finding the perfect person to make the introduction. Right, so mutual post between the two. That mutual post, mutual LIFO link between you and somebody you're looking for, and mutual post between those LIFO links to kind of give you the context. Because a lot of the time on LinkedIn, it's missing the context. You see that people are connected with each other, but how? Right? Is it do they work together? Did they go to the same school? Have they done business together? Did they just meet at an event? You don't know. So we are building curated profiles for people, right? As an example, like interviews and skills and investments and advisory positions, right? So we add much more than you would find on LinkedIn. And then we are really focused on real life connections. So it's not enough to be connected on LinkedIn or on social media. It's like, do you really know these people? This is, for example, Mark Andreessen's LIFO links, right? Everybody knows Mark Andreessen, very successful venture capitalist, right? Then you look at all these people and companies he's connected with, and it's like, wow, but how are they connected, right? So I see maybe Google Ventures here, right? Like, how is Mark Andreessen connected to Google Ventures? And if you look here on the side, you're going to see these little numbers. And when you click on it, it means that they have a mutual LIFO post. So most likely I'm going to find out how Mark Andreessen and Google Ventures are connected by clicking on this little number. And what you're going to see is mutual posts. And it turns out both Mark Andreessen and Google Ventures invested in AngelList. Did you know that? I didn't, but in one click I found out, right? And the same thing, see two connections with Reid Hoffman. You click on it and see how Mark Andreessen and Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn, know each other, right? So this is a very powerful tool for B2B companies who are trying to find ways to get to someone. We build these amazing relationship maps, and if you didn't have a chance to take a look at Lifograph, I totally encourage you to go in and click on the LifoNet. The LifoNet is going to show you people's connections, and as you click on each of these, what you're going to see is that they expand to the next level and expand to the next level. And I find it fascinating from clicking from one to another and seeing the next connection, things that you wouldn't know otherwise, but visualizing these will be like, wow, I didn't know that, right? Like this is, for example, mutual connection between Reid Hoffman and Ron Conway. Ron Conway, who is the founder of SV Angels, SV Angel, one of the most successful angel investors in the world. This is one of the most exciting pieces that I love. This is really under the hood technology that we use, and this is how the connections are in our technology. This is how we match the connections, right? Millions of nodes and attributes between people, right? Trying to make that matching. It takes a lot of technology, a lot of coding and skills to put something together like this. And we also have very proprietary data processing workflows that allow us to build all these connections on the back end and present you this information on a beautiful, simple UI. But what goes under the hood is not easy. We've been mentioned in many media outlets. We love media, and they love us. For example, on Forbes, Forbes, they said that we're really appealing and that you can see how people in the industry are connected. Inc. also said that we are one of the most useful tools for entrepreneurs. In the Entrepreneur magazine, they said that we make it easy for people to connect and to push your business forward. In terms of traction, I love these numbers. We're getting bigger numbers. So in the next month or so, you're going to see a huge increase in this number. But these are the connections that we have, over 1.2 million, right? The LIFO posts, the profiles. We are in the process of bringing a few million new profiles millions of new profiles into Lifograph. We're very excited. We can't wait to share that with you. We get a lot of people spending time on our site, lots of people on the mailing list. We have the curators, people who want to contribute data to Lifographs into our wiki. Over 400 people waiting to do this, and we've already put thousands and thousands of hours of data into our system. This is time that you don't have to spend, okay? This is time that we do on your behalf, because our goal is to do the research once, and then everybody gets to use it and reuse it, right? So we want to save you time, we want to save you money by doing this research once and then allowing everybody to use it. This is me. I am the founder and the CEO. I've been involved in technology for the longest time. I worked at Fortune 100 companies. I have MBAs and masters, and I've been involved in Silicon Valley and tech startup women for a long time. Our data scientist, he's a PhD in computer science, super qualified to do all this data and artificial intelligence that we're using to do the matching between people. Daniel, he's my right hand CTO, amazing developer, and he's a super expert in all the technologies that we use. The things that he does, sometimes I call him our coding wizard, because he is. And then, of course, our designer who worked for huge companies and did a lot of projects for them. I'm very excited about our advisors. David Mendlin, for example, a general manager at Microsoft. Right? He used to write speeches for Bill Gates and Steve Ballmer. I mean, this guy, he's a baller. Then Rajani, I love her. She's the former CEO of Salesforce. And one of our ways that we want to grow is to integrate on the Salesforce App Exchange and integrate our platform with the Salesforce. Of course, Mark Haney, Tom Candress, they're multi-million-dollar exit entrepreneurs, also investors. They provide a lot of value to us. We have several influencers, as well as general counsel who used to work at Wikipedia. Now let's talk a little bit about how big the market is, right? In terms of revenue, we're in the business intelligence and analytics, right? So this is supposed to get up to almost $23 billion by next year. This is a huge market that we want to take advantage of, right? And then as the initial market is like, we want to go through with the self-intelligence, right? It's like, how do you find the perfect customers for you? How do you generate leads that actually convert, that would be the best match for what you're offering? And in terms of users, we find that business people and professionals would be our first go-to-market, and the professional salespeople who are over 6 million in the US are our prime target. In terms of competition, of course, what's in everybody's mind is, okay, how are you different than LinkedIn, right? And I touched upon a little bit on those, but let me go a little bit quicker to a few of our differentiators. We crowdsource data, right? So we allow information to come from news articles, from blogs, from websites, right? This is not only somebody's resume that you're going to see on Lifograph. And that brings me to the next one, which is richer information, right? If somebody wrote the books, you're going to see all his books or her books posted, right? Including maybe co-authors, and that will be a strong connection between them. We allow for granular filtering, example. What if you're looking for a UX agency, right? And you want exactly a UX agency, like top 10 UX agencies in San Francisco, or within a 50-mile radius, that are specialized in mobile gaming, right? How cool would that be to click a button and be able to see that list right there, done for you, all the research done for you. We just present you with the information. Right now, you'd have to dig through Google, try to find that mobile app gaming designer who might not even be on the first few pages on Google because they can't afford to maybe pay for Google ads, right? And we offer high probability matches. This is what I love because this is our main goal, right? Imagine going to an event and you go there with 100 people. Many times you end up meeting the people that sit at your table during lunch, right? Or at dinner. Um, what if you would have a lifograph to show you the top 5 people at this event that you should meet? We don't have too much time and we want to be very efficient with our time. What if you were able to say, okay, this is what you're looking for, this is what the other people are looking for, you guys could be a good match. Wouldn't that be cool? And another thing about events that I love, imagine going to an event, anybody can add that event to Lifograph and tag themselves as attendees, right? Everybody, other 100 attendees can tag themselves as well, or you can tag them. And guess what? Now you are all connected. You don't have to send 100 LinkedIn requests. You're all connected because you're part of that event and you can communicate with each other. And you get to see each other's background and you get to see each other's project or what they're looking for. And you can, before you even go to an event, you already know who will be there and who you should definitely meet. Of course, we are going after a larger target demographics than LinkedIn, right? I mean, we want to add information about people in entertainment and sports and music and politics. Wouldn't that be cool if you knew what your prospective senator has voted on, right? Like, what's their stance? And they vote yes or no on various bills, and wouldn't be that cool to see what the politicians have done, right? I would like to know that before I give them my vote. So many areas in which we want to expand, but for right now, we're focusing definitely on the startup and business side of things. In terms of revenue model, right now, we provide data services. So we build lifographs for companies and people, and we promote them on as feature profiles. But we will offer a freemium model, which means most of the information is free. However, for maybe features that are advanced, like various analytics or maybe alerts for leads or things like that, then that will be a paid account. In the next 3 years, we want to also include some recruiting solutions like finding the perfect employee, finding the perfect co-founder. I mean, it's a huge market. Just LinkedIn makes $2 billion a year in recruiting. So we believe that that's a huge market that we should definitely tap into. And of course, advertising, it's our last, so to speak, resort. We believe that we can make money without advertising, but just as an idea, we can definitely do sponsored ads for, let's say, for one of those mobile gaming designer who might not show up in top 10, but still wants to get the visibility to our users. In terms of market strategy, we have a viral product because users tag themselves in posts, right? And they receive notifications. We are in the process of allowing address book import and LinkedIn connections import if you want to see richer information about them. And of course, we have a built-in network effect, right? The more people use the platform, the more valuable we become. The more valuable we become, the more people come to our website. So it's a snowball effect. And in terms of how we go to market, we are working with marketing and PR agencies who are building lifographs for companies, right? We're working with the event organizers who create their events on lifograph and then allow everybody to tag themselves in and be able to communicate right away. And of course, the CRM and API integrations with Salesforce, HubSpot, and the like. We have big prospects in terms of who might be able to acquire us. And I know it's very early to talk about it, but as investors, you will probably want to know who are the right people to acquire us, the right companies. And this is just a small list. In terms of capitals, we raised already $250,000, and we're now in the process of equity crowdfunding. Since July, we raised about $161,000. Our campaign will end in October, so we have very little time to take investments until then. We have still probably 19% left in our early bird. So I'll talk a little bit more about that. But if you're interested in it, I would love to take questions about our equity crowdfunding. We have over 240 people who have already committed to invest in us. They range from venture capitalists, successful entrepreneurs, to dentists, stay-at-home moms, teachers, retired people, military. I mean, I am amazed and impressed with the diversity of people that invest in Lifograph, and they're so willing to help. They say, okay, what can we do? Let me introduce you to my neighbor. I mean, that's why I love crowdfunding, because it's such an amazing opportunity to meet people from all walks of life. These are the people that are going to use our platform, people are going to be our ambassadors, and people who will also make money if we are successful, right? So we want to, we are a company built by people, for the people, and we want to be owned by people as well. So if you go to wefounder.com/Lifograph, you're going to see a little video and a little bit of more information about the investment opportunity. The beauty of it is that you can just join with $100. So I've been on a lot of shows, including Wall Street Business Network, and I'm a big promoter of crowdfunding. And we totally believe in that Lifograph can be the next revolution in startups. So I want to encourage you to go to wefounder.com and invest $100 on Lifograph. Now, keep in mind that we have several perks, right? And let me see if I can go to the site. Let me make sure that this can be viewed. So let me share this one. Okay, so this is our Lifograph page. If you click here, you're going to see our video. And one of the most exciting things too is if you go to investor perks, you're going to see various perks that you can actually earn if you invest over $250, right? You don't have to. You can put just $100 in and have that badge of honor of being a Lifograph investor, right? You're also going to be part of the Lifograph post that includes the investors in Lifograph, and I definitely encourage you. I would love to get you as part of our family. We're really a family, and we're very proud of that. So that being said, I would like to kind of open it up to some Q&A and see what kind of questions you might have. So let me see here. Okay. Okay. So Tom. Okay. Let me see here how this works. Okay, so Tom is asking us what graph database we're using, and it seems like we're using Neo4j, like one of their partners. So that's exciting. Another question is, why did you choose to go to the crowdfunding, equity crowdfunding route? And we chose to choose the crowdfunding route because we're a crowdsourced platform, right? We are a company built by people for the people. And, I have connections in Silicon Valley, but I would have to raise money from maybe 5 people, 10 people, right? Why not raise from 200-300 people who will become our clients, will become our ambassadors? And frankly, I like crowdfunding because it democratizes investing in startups, right? Startups can bring huge returns to their investors. And for the longest time, it was a monopoly of only accredited investors. Unless you had $1 million in assets or more, excluding your residence, you will not be able to invest in startups. And 2, 3 years ago, the law has changed, and now anybody can put money into startups. Why not give back to the community and allow, regular folks like teachers and stay-at-home moms to dabble into investing and put money into a companies they believe in and they can rally up against together, right? So that's why we chose the equity crowdfunding route. Okay, let's see what other questions. I don't see an end date on the WeFund. Is there a deadline to invest? Okay, yes. Let me answer here. Yes. So the question is about an end date. We will close our funding round in October. So let's see. Now it's September 12th. In October, we're gonna close our round. If you want to get in, this is probably the time to do it. As you see right here, we have early bird terms. Early bird means that you get a lower valuation, right? So it's quite a good valuation, including the 20% discount, right? And also lower valuation is 500,000 less. So definitely, I suggest if you're thinking about dabbling into investing in startups, and if you like our company, and I know that you've been on our mailing list for a while, and I really appreciate that. I don't take that lightly. And really, I would like to grow with you, and I'd like to see how we can collaborate and work together. Right? That's what we would like to do. Okay, another question is, do you foresee any challenges with a cap table by raising future rounds? Okay, this is a great question, and I like that because some people are concerned about you have too many investors on your cap table. And, there's hundreds of companies that raise money through crowdfunding every year. The way that we operate and the way that WeFunder operate is that the CEO of the company gets to make decisions on behalf of the company. And even though you have, I know companies that have like over 1,000 investors, right, that put small amounts of money. And in the future, let's say that we go to and we raise $100 million, right, and the investors in that round, they might not want to have that many people on the cap table. Well, what they can do, we will buy back our investors, of course, at a premium. So whoever invests, they will be bought out at the higher valuation, most likely, and that whoever wants to stay in, they will still stay in. Whoever wants to be bought out, they will be bought out. Okay, another question here. Another question is, how did you come up with the name Lifograph? Okay, so it's interesting. It's and the keyword here is real life connections, right? Life. We all have a small group of people in our life that we're very connected with, and they're most likely to make an impact in our life. And so the real life connections in your life, right? Because we are based on that. And graph is because we want to show the connection between people. A graph is like a hub and spoke. If you look at our logo, you're going to see that you can be at the center, and then you have all these spokes around with all the people that have influenced you and the people that have made an impact in your life. And we want to showcase that, right? Our goal at Lifograph is to really celebrate people's accomplishments, celebrate people's skills, and connect them with each other, right? Imagine us being like a huge GPS for relationships, like a Google Maps, where you can always find what's your journey and what's your fastest path to somewhere where you want to get. Our motto is it's all about the people. And it's so true in everything you do, whether it's in life or whether it's in business, it's always all about the people. So I hope that answers your question. And okay, let's see. So let me answer another question. I'm going to read it out. Um, Awesome product there. I'm a visual, and for me, this is better than gold. One of the best products I think that could help entrepreneurs in many aspects of their business. How much do you need to raise, and what happens if the amount is not reached? You mentioned something about 90% still to be raised. Okay, so and I'm sorry I was not maybe a very clear on that. So we have already met our goal. Our goal was 100,000. So we are already 61% over our goal. So we already raised our minimum. But we have decided to do up to $200,000. We decided to do better terms, better valuation, right? So that means that you get, as you can see here on the website, you get um, $500,000 less valuation. You add 20% discount on top, and you get a really, really good deal. So we have only 38,000 left for people to invest before our valuation goes to the regular valuation. So if you want to take advantage of early bird terms, once we reach this amount, it will not be available anymore. So see it right here, like up to 200, they get better terms. And then let me continue with that question. And then, so yeah, I guess that I answered. It says we have already reached it. And of course, we have a little bit more of the early bird. Okay, another question here. Okay, so another question is, you say you started this campaign in July. Have you made any significant updates to the product since? Where can we expect to see in the near term? Basically, I'm trying to figure out where my investment will go. And I love this because I'm so excited about our future plans. So just to give you a quick, we have a twofold, right? We work on this on twofold. One is the data, right? So one is the data and one is the technology. So in terms of data, as I mentioned earlier in the webinar, we plan to get over 7 million new profiles into our database. And this is going to happen before the end of the year. You know, we're basically going to blow up. And in terms of technology, a couple of things that I'm really excited about what we're going to introduce is one, the ability to import our address book, right? This is how Facebook, Google, Twitter, they all grew widely by importing address books. So you'll be able to import your address book into Lifograph, and you're going to see your connections, right? Like you're going to see richer connections about these people that are already sitting in your address book. And then second, we'll allow people to import their LinkedIn connections if they want to. This is something that people have to agree to it. Once we have that, that will be also a huge boost in our data, because you will be able to see how you're connected to your LinkedIn connections, and you might not know hidden connections, right? You might not know how to get to someone that you didn't even know existed, but they're the right people to make connections with. So that kind of value add for us is tremendous. We're very excited about it. Okay, so another question. At what point do you think you'll start shopping around the company? There was a slide about potentially getting acquired by LinkedIn or something like that. The market will decide. Our goal is to build a company as big as we can so we can get to the highest price, right? If we do really well, we might even go public, right? Like a lot of the social media companies out there and other enterprise companies. So it really depends on how well we do, right? And I'm hoping the next 3 to 5 years that will become very obvious. On average, it takes companies between 5 to 8 years to go public. An acquisition can happen much earlier. I think that if we build a valuable company with great data, customer value that we can be snapped up pretty quickly. But that we have to do our job, and that's why we're raising money, so we can build the value in the company and eventually return the investors' money many times over. So that's what we're working on, and I want you to be to feel very confident that we're going to work our butt off trying to achieve this goal. So we are here working for you as an investor, and I'm hoping that you will join us in this journey. For us, it's all about the people, and Lifograph is the same. So I don't see any more questions, and I would like to thank you for participating today in our call. I would love for you to go to wefunder.com/lifograph and invest $100 or more. If you do, I would like to follow up with you with a call and see how we can collaborate on these things and how we might be able to promote you on Lifograph as well. I really appreciate you taking the time today to be part of this webinar. I hope you'll join me in our journey. It's all about the people. Thank you all. Bye-bye.